Argentina comes from behind to knock off Egypt. They were down 2-0 to the Egyptians. But with teamwork and togetherness, they found a way to knock off Egypt by a final score of 3-2 to advance to the quarterfinal round of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Welcome back to the Good Sports Podcast. I am your host, Brady Masters, and we're going to dive into this comeback from Argentina. And it was one of 3 great comebacks in World Cup history. So let's get into it, folks, because this was a great come-from-behind win for Argentina. Egypt got on the board first, 1-0 with a goal, and then Egypt made it 2-0 with another goal. And it looked like Egypt had all the momentum that Argentina was going to have their run at another World Cup come to an end. Well, you know what? Argentina fought together hard as a team. And in the second half, that's when the game turned around for Argentina. Argentina got a goal from Romero in the 79th minute to put Argentina on the board, and they cut the Egyptian lead in half. It was 2-1 at that point, and the crowd went wild. It looked like the Argentina crowd was dead silent, and all the cheering happened for Egypt. But when Argentina scored that goal, it was 2-1. And it looked like Argentina was going to find a way to come back and win when some other people didn't think they would. And then, a few minutes later, Lionel Messi, who has been through 6 World Cup runs with Argentina, he is one of the greatest athletes of all time, in my opinion. And he was the guy that was denied of the penalty kick going into the net against the Egyptian goaltender. But he couldn't be denied a second time because he scored the game-tying goal, and it was all tied at 2. And, of course, when the crowd is watching Messi, they go absolutely wild. They go absolutely bananas for him because they know what he means to Argentina. They know what he means to this football club. And then in stoppage time, with the game tied at 2, if you were watching the game, Fernandez was coming off the right side of the field. He kicked the ball with his right foot, sent the ball high into the air to the middle of the field, where Martinez was able to head the ball into the back of the net, and Argentina took their first lead of the game. They were up 3-2, and that was the goal that gave the Argentinians a 3-2 victory. They didn't look back after that, and they put the pressure on Egypt, and it was so timely because they had scored 3 goals in 13 minutes, and Argentina now is advancing to the quarterfinals, where they will take on Switzerland in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This team won in 2022 against France in the World Cup final. And they know what it takes to win. And it doesn't matter what deficit they're in, they're always going to find a way to come back and make it interesting and find a way to win. You know, with Lionel Messi being there, he's a huge leader for this team, and he instills confidence, and the players hear that, and the players are wanting to play as a team together, and they love Lionel Messi. They treat him as a brother and as a friend, and they will go out and play together as a team, and that's what they did, and they fought hard together. They chipped at the lead 1 goal at a time. They knew they couldn't get all 2 goals back in 1 kick, but they just had to keep chipping away, and eventually Argentina wore Egypt out, and Argentina found a way to win that game. It was just an amazing game to watch, an amazing comeback that happened in the World Cup a few days ago. Now, there were two other historic comebacks that were made in the FIFA World Cup in its history. Let's take you back to 1954 when Austria played Switzerland. Switzerland took a lead in the game. They were up until Austria came from behind and knocked off the Swiss by a final score of 7-5. And it was the highest scoring match in World Cup history. And then, fast forward 12 years later, Portugal went up against South Korea. And in that game, South Korea had a 3-0 advantage on Portugal. But then the game turned around and it turned in favor of Portugal as they scored 5 goals in a row and won 5-3 behind a 4-goal performance from their Portuguese player in Eusebio. And they found a way to come back and win that game. And so what I'm trying to get at is anything is possible. It doesn't matter whether you're down a goal in the game, down 2 goals, 3 goals, anything is possible. You have to have willingness to work together as a team, to chip away at the deficit one at a time, and you also have to work together as a team. Now, Lionel Messi, is great of a soccer player that he is, and I love watching him. Argentina wasn't going to win that game against Egypt single-handedly because of him. I mean, yes, he was one of the reasons why they came from behind to beat Egypt. But it needs to be a team effort. Everybody in the group needs to work together and play their roles, support each other in good times and bad times, and you just have to find a way to grind it out. Whether you win or lose, you have to try. There is no give up. I mean, you can decide to give up, but it's not a good attitude to have. And so Lionel Messi told those guys, and he was showing those guys that they have a chance, that this game is still going. There is still plenty of time in this game to go, and so we can make this comeback happen. And that's what they did. And so that's what I want you guys to know. If you're playing soccer or you're playing any kind of sport, or if you're playing one of those sports right now, that anything is possible. You can come from behind in a deficit at any point in the game, and you can find a way to win. It might not be your day. You might not win every single game, but you have to have the heart. You have to try. And it might get you to where you want to go. It might help your team be successful. And it might help you win games for your team. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. There is no I in team. You have to work together as a team to be successful. You have to do it. And so that's what Argentina proved the other day against Egypt, that anything is possible. That they are a group of believers who will play for each other and lean on one another to get to where they want to go. And that is winning another World Cup and winning a game. I forgot to mention about the U.S. I know I was talking about the Argentina comeback, but we got to talk about the U.S. because there are some soccer fans who love the U.S. and that actually like watching this team this year. Yes, they didn't get the result that they had wanted. Yes, they won in the group stage and advanced to the knockout stage, and they beat Bosnia. They shut them out 2-0. But their run to the World Cup championship came to an end against a Belgium team who was very competitive and very tough. Belgium beat them 4-1, and that was the end of the World Cup run for the U.S. But they went out there and played together as a team as well, just like Argentina did. And they continued to do it with smiles on their faces as well. I love to see the smiles of Anthony Robinson, Christian Pulisic, Trey McKinney. I just love to see those guys working together as one team. And just being there, it was just so fun to watch them play the game that they love so much together. But do you want to know what put a smile on my face? It was after the game, the U.S. players shook the hands of the Belgian players. They told them congratulations for winning the game. Yes, we got embarrassed on our home turf, but we're still going to congratulate Belgium for the game that they played. They executed well, and they beat us fair and square. So all we need to do, we need to shake hands and respect their players, because yes, they're soccer players, but they're also human beings, and we need to show care and respect for them, because that's what Jesus would want us to do. And so that definitely put a smile on my face, and I hope those of you who watched the end of the game, I hope you had a smile on your face as well, because that is what you need to show if you're a sports player or just any kind of person. You need to show care and respect, and you need to show kindness for those people. You absolutely have to. And so that's what you can take away from the U.S. and what they did at the end of the game against Belgium. But it was certainly awesome to watch the U.S. men's soccer team this season. And so who knows what they're going to be doing in their future? They're going to continue to compete and get better. And when they have that togetherness, they go up against the tough competition. We'll see what happens. But if they have the togetherness and the teamwork together, they have that built in to their minds, they're going to go far in the World Cup down the road. So that'll wrap up segment 2 of the Good Sports Podcast. When we come back, we're going to dive into the NHL offseason, and we're going to talk about one particular athlete who is going to mentor the young players of the Washington Capitals, and his name is Alexander Ovechkin. Yes, the 40-year-old is going to play his 21st season. He signed a 1-year, $1 million extension to stay with the Washington Capitals. I'll talk about him and much more when the Good Sports Podcast returns. I'm Brady Masters, aka B-Man, and we will be back to the show after this.